Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host Sandman. Today we're going over vlog number 2, which is my road to recovery. So if you're new here, about 2 months ago, 10 weeks ago, I went in for a routine allergy injection and I had a very severe negative reaction to it. And as I was getting in my vehicle to drive away from the clinic, my blood pressure and my heart rate went through the roof and I almost passed out as I was driving. So I haven't been the same since. I went to urgent care a couple days later, went to the hospital, the emergency room a couple weeks later, and basically nothing has gotten better. I've been dizzy for 10 weeks. I can't drive. I can't walk further than 50 feet without my heart rate shooting up over 160 beats per minute. So I basically feel like I'm going to faint or pass out when I do too much. I've had echocardiogram, I've had CAT scan, I've had an MRI, I've passed everything. They don't know what it is. I have a stress test this week, so we're still looking to see what it is. It's not safe to walk around the neighborhood without assistance. I have a mobility scooter, but we're trying to find ways to get me back to walking again and get me exercising. So the wife and I purchased this Deer Run walking treadmill off of Amazon. It was very inexpensive. It was only $140 on sale. I'll be doing a whole video review of that in the future. I don't recommend you walk on this barefoot, and I don't recommend you purchase the model that doesn't have handrails, but we ended up finding a really safe spot to put this behind the couch, and I think it's going to work out great. So here we are warming up for my grip workout for today. So I have this thing snuggled right between the couch and the kitchen countertop. I can't go to the gym, I can't drive, I can't exercise at home, but man, I can still work my hands, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm sitting down because I don't really have any issues with falling, but I don't feel comfortable standing because it fatigues me right now. So I'm just going to sit down and do my warm-up. I'm going to be doing, basically I built a program based off of Matt Winning's Russian conjugate training for powerlifting. I used to be a power lifter back in the day for a short while, and that's all I know how to do. So I was like, well, let's make a conjugate training method with maximum effort day and a dynamic effort day with grip training. So I have 2 days a week plugged in. This is my warm-up. I'm doing a total of 60 reps per set, a total of 3 sets. So I'm doing 30 what I call jazz hands, then I'm doing 30 forearm developer, and then I'm doing 30 Captains of Crush Zenith agility grippers here, just to get blood into my forearms and the pulleys of my fingers and my hands, and I'm massaging my forearms. I'll do that for 3 sets of 60 repetitions total, or excuse me, I guess 90 if I'm doing 30, 30, and 30. So I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I have a lot to learn. I'm only 3 weeks into this, and I'm sure my warm-ups will change over time. Because I'm following a Russian conjugate method, basically I'm going to do 8 sets of 3 reps for a maximum effort day, and I'm going to be working up to 90% of my 1 rep max, which is a Captains of Crush number 2, almost to close. And so I'm starting off with set 1 on the Sport gripper from Captains of Crush, and that guy, I think that's about 37 pounds, going off of the Canon PowerWorks rating, the RGC, which is the rating the gripper at close. And set number 2, I'm using the trainer. See, these are just warm-up sets. The trainer is going to boast about 54 pounds of average force to close that guy, and based off the RGC. And so if you're new here, basically the grippers, whenever you buy them, they come with a rating on them from the manufacturer, and they're arbitrary numbers. They're absolutely fake. They're nonsense. They're false. So I have been going off of average ratings from Canon PowerWorks that sells the best gear for grip strength training, and they have some charts that will guide you in what are some averages on these. But I am actually going to be mailing all of these grippers out tomorrow. Today's Columbus Day, so I'm going to be mailing these out tomorrow to get them rated in the rating scale from Canon Power Grip, and I'll be doing a little short on how to do that. So here I'm on set 3. So this is the 0.5 of the Captains of Crush, and this is actually rated at 66 pounds from Canon Power Sports. So the RGC, 66 pounds. Again, like I said, if you're new here to this grip stuff, because I'm new, I didn't know purchasing these that basically the poundage that's written on the packaging is just for marketing and advertising. It's arbitrary. It's not real. So yeah, so I'll be giving the RGC from now on. RGC is going to be that rating. So I think now I've moved into the Captains of Crush number 1. So this should be set number 4. and that is going to be 76 pounds. So I'm doing a wide or open set grip. So that means I'm using an assisted hand to get a little bit of my grip around my fingers around that, the opposite of the dog leg. I don't remember the name of that, the other handle, but I'm getting a little bit of a grip in there, the set grip. I'm practicing that, but it's very close to what is a credit card set grip. I'm still learning all this terminology, so bear with me as I learn on this, but it's a pretty wide or open set grip there. I think that's something I want to keep practicing as I'm just in like up to 90% of my 1 rep max. As I get heavier, I'll go with a more closed set grip. I'm still learning how to set my grip. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I've seen the Paul Knight video. I've watched Jed Johnson. I've watched 100 of his videos. I've watched W Strength. I've watched Ivan Suk. I've watched Carl Myers Co. and a whole bunch of others. I'm learning a lot, but I'm only 3 weeks into it. I'm only into this, and it's going to take me hundreds of repetitions to get comfortable doing this. You'll probably see me pause and take a look at my grippers from time to time like it's some foreign object from outer space, because I have no idea what I'm doing with these tools. But this is a lot of fun. I'm addicted, and I'm so glad that I have this hobby during this stressful time in my life. But here I am going for, so we are on the 1.5 right now. That is the 1.5. And so the 1.5 is 86 pounds. And I'm going to do 3 sets of the 1.5. So this should be set number 7 with the 1.5. Still working on that wide set there, as it's called. And my hands are already fatiguing because I'm still trying to understand volume, and I'm trying to understand how to properly warm up. And I'm trying to understand how much rest I need in between all my sets and everything. It's going to be a huge learning curve. Right now, I've written my own program based off of some bench press programs that I've had from Matt Winning in his Russian conjugate style of training. And I just kind of took those numbers and put them into here for grip strength, with the percentages anyways, and the modality of maximum effort training and dynamic effort training. But I'm going to be getting a Jed Johnson program here pretty soon, and then I'll probably experiment with some other programs, maybe a program by W Grip, I think that's what he's called, and other people that are basically stronger than me. I will get programs from them and implement them as the months progress, but right now this is all I have to work with. I'm struggling here with my left hand. My left hand is definitely 20 to 25% weaker than my right, but I'm happy that I was able to get through a working set with that 1.5. And that 1.5 is killer at 86 pounds on the RGC. So now I'm in my accessory work, and the accessory work, just like in a bench press, now we're going to do like 2 sets of something to failure, and it's supposed to be a little bit easier. I didn't know how to figure this out. I thought I could do a 0.5 for like a minute. No, I only ended up doing a Captain's of Crush 0.5 for 5 reps total. And my goal here was to do a 1-5-1 tempo. So that's a 1 second eccentric and concentric movement with a 5-second pause in the middle. So all you really need to do is focus on the 5-second pause. But I was only able to bang out 5 reps on this. So I need to go lighter next time, because the sole purpose of this is for hypertrophy work. So a larger muscle is, or a larger engine is usually a faster, stronger engine. So I'm trying to do hypertrophy work after my core set to build larger muscle groups. And it kicks my butt because I was not prepared. So I ended up actually going with the trainer. And the trainer from Captains of Crush is 54 pounds. And I still was only able to get 5 reps out of that with a 5-second pause. And just doing a 1 second concentric eccentric. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I need to spend more time doing these pauses. I'm going to be getting the cadence program from Jed Johnson here pretty soon, probably in about a month. I'll get his cadence programming for basically it's all like tempo on how you're going to work your grippers, because the longer you can hold something, basically time under tension is really what's going to create that grip strength. And powerlifting, it's very similar too. The more reps that you can hold for 5 seconds or in a 3-second tempo, or even working negatives or anything like that, that's really what stimulates muscle growth. So I try to do that with the grippers as best as possible, but I'm still trying to figure out volume, and I'm still trying to figure out, okay, if I'm going to do a burnout set, which gripper do I need to be using? I should have been using the guide probably and holding that for 5 seconds, and the guide is only 27 pounds. I just don't know what I'm doing right now, but that's okay. I'm training safely. I'm only training twice a week, and that's all that's it. That's all I did for that grip. Now I'm working on my pinch grip. I don't want to get into pinch grip. I don't want to get into hub lifting or anything like that. I understand there's a high probability of injury for hub lifting, but I don't want a weak pinch grip either. So I'm using the GD Iron Grip, the GD90 by Iron Grip, and this thing's really nice. I love that it's a variable or adjustable gripper. But we're going to see here on my second or third set that the handles there for the pinch grip actually slip. And I actually have the Allen screws, or the bolts rather, tightened down as tight as I could possibly go. What's causing these things to slip is that this GD gripper doesn't close. It doesn't close in a straight line. Now, neither do the Captains of Crush because of the spring tension. They don't really close in a completely straight line, but it's really obvious on this GD gripper, like the handles almost like misalign with each other once they're completely closed. So I don't know if that's something I'm doing wrong or what, but you're going to see here I'm basically going to drop this thing twice because those pinch grips are going to slip on me. There you go. Make sure you drop it while you're training. That's how you get things done. So I'm still learning. I do have the pony pinch from Canon PowerWorks. I'm probably just going to use that from now on. And I have that there, you know, you can see it there on the right side, that it's basically a big ass, you know, clip with rubber bands on it. That thing is a workout for me without the rubber bands. So I'm going to be using that from now on. I really like this GD Iron Grip for just funsies. And I'm probably going to use it for my dynamic effort day this week, since I'm mailing out all of my Captains of Crush to Canon PowerWorks to get rated. But I don't see me using this GD Iron Grip moving forward into the future very often, except for like mini workouts or something like that, or an active recovery, or during a deload. All right, so last exercise and this is the last of my accessory work overall. So these are band extensions. I'm doing 3 sets of 20 reps, and I'm using IronMind. So I went to ironmind.com, or maybe I purchased these from Amazon, but it actually came with 2 sets of each band. I'm using the green color, and I'm trying to do 20 reps, 3 sets. I'm still kind of an idiot with this, and it likes to wrap around my wrist when I'm not paying attention. But I did watch a video where Jed Johnson said that he doesn't think that extensions are necessarily going to give you a stronger grip. But he does, I think he said that he does see that they do help offset some grip imbalances, and they can help people with certain sorenesses or tendonitis or issues that might help with that imbalance. And so, you know, I don't know what to do with these extensions. I just don't want to have a weak hand, and I'm a beginner. I'm only 3 weeks into hand training, so I figured it wouldn't hurt me to add this at the end of my workout as a part of my accessory work, just to work on my weaknesses. I don't think it's going to kill me. If anything, it's kind of like a cool down. So I'm enjoying doing that. But as I get more, as I learn to program better, as I learn from people like Jed Johnson and W Grip, I'll probably cut out things like this that maybe they don't have their students or their clients do. But right now I don't see any harm in it, especially since I have a lot of weaknesses. So I am going to be, as I said, mailing out all of my grippers here to Canon PowerWorks. I actually drove out there today to the post office, and then didn't realize that it was Columbus Day. I had no idea that today was Columbus Day, because I've been stuck in the house for 10 weeks. So it's just one of those things. Hands are looking fine. I just got 1 blister from today, and I will have to just work on that. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot. I'm actually got an unload next week, or deload next week, so I don't have a maximum effort next week. So if you guys want to get your grippers and you want to get them rated, I purchased all these grippers on Amazon, and then got obsessed, and then realized, oh man, I don't know how strong these grippers actually are, and that I can purchase grippers in between whatever strengths I have, or grippers that I have. So I'm going to be mailing these out. I am using a nylon brush to brush off as much of the chalk that I can, so that way it doesn't affect the rating of the gripper, and that way I'm just being polite to the guys at Canon PowerWorks. Once you clean off the chalk of your gripper, The website says to take a piece of paper and we're going to laminate it with tape. And it's kind of funny because it reminds me of being in the Marine Corps again. Back in the Marines, we would have what's called killing knowledge. So they would basically just give you a piece of paper with like 8-point font of just information, everything from like first aid to like the chain of command to your general orders, distances of an M16 and all that stuff, and some ballistics and stuff like that. They call it killing knowledge. And then we would take this packing tape and we would cover it front and back, and that made it waterproof and it made it laminated. And it was just a cheap way of protecting your knowledge that you had to keep in your pocket. And when you're being slayed on the quarterdeck or whatever, you didn't want the sweat to ruin your killing knowledge. So that's what we did. And that's what I'm doing here. So they suggest that you tape the inside of a piece of paper and then you wrap up your gripper so that way it's not being mailed loose, because otherwise the knurling rubbing against each other is really going to mess up your grippers. So I didn't mind this. At first when I saw these instructions, I was like, this is really weird. And then as I was wrapping up the grippers, it all made sense. I was like, yeah, like the grippers are just going to rip through the paper. So you have to reinforce the paper, and then you need to tape this thing up. And it even says, like, make sure you go heavy on the tape. So it makes sense, and I want these guys to not hate me, so I'm going to follow their rules as best as I can, and so that way I can get these returned in a timely manner. I just have one more dynamic workout this week, and I'm just going to use the GD gripper, most likely. For that, I have 2 GD grippers, and then I'm going to be basically taking next week off. So I'm going to be following like a wave principle or a mesocycle principle, where every 4th week I'm going to be taking a break from training to let my tendons and my muscles heal. And that's it, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.